Hi everyone, and today what you're going to be doing is looking at building up your own ideal computer system. If money wasn't an issue and you think about all the things you potentially were using a computer for or would like to have used a computer for during your time in lockdown, I want you to think about what you would buy and what aspects you would buy. But first of all, you're going to start off with what you would use your computer for. So you'll find this template PowerPoint in the pupil share directory. It will be called My Ideal Computer System. Okay, and what I want you to do on the first page is first of all replace your name in here. Okay, so it's got your name, and then in this box here I want you to write down what you would use your computer for. So for example, you might write down that you would use it for working on school assignments, perhaps completing some homework, doing some research, but then some of you, for example, might want to use it for gaming, communicating with your friends online, using social media. Whatever it is you use your computer for, you're going to fill it out inside that box, and that's going to give you an idea of some of the resources that you might want to buy. So for example, if you particularly were into gaming and it was maybe you were really into using, I don't know, flight simulators, you might want to make sure that you buy a joystick to work with your computer system. In turn, if you're really into video chatting with your friends, then you might want to make sure you've got a webcam built into your desktop computer. So have a little think about what you would want to use your computer for, fill that out, and then you're going to move on to the next task. Now the next task is thinking about all the parts inside the computer system. Now we've had a little talk about this in the last couple of weeks with regards to computer specifications. So what you're going to do is have a think about what you think your computer would need. So for example, if you were going to be really into gaming, you're probably going to need to look up a good graphics processor of some kind. Okay? But regardless, you're going to need all of the main things. So you're going to need a hard disk drive or solid state drive to save your information. You're going to need some RAM so that your computer can run. And you're definitely going to need a processor. Okay, so you're going to head across to Google and find some of those things. So I'm going to type in processor. Now, it's entirely up to you whether you want to actually go on to some shopping pages and have a little look for a specific processor, one like here for example, or what you could just do is go to images and find a picture of one. Copy your image across, pop it into here, okay, and then you can just put it inside your box. We're not worrying too much about where these go or all that type of stuff. If you want to put a motherboard in the background to make it look really interesting, then you absolutely can. That's totally fine. Okay, now once you've got your picture of whatever it is you're looking for, what I want you to also do is go up to insert, into shapes, and to choose text box, which should be the first thing that you find. Okay, and round the outside of the box you're going to write down what you got. So you need a processor. Okay, this is the brain of the computer and will make it work. I need a good processor which will run the games I like to use my computer for. Okay, now again you could be specific. So if you wanted to go on and say I've spent, you know, £150 on this processor and it's a 2.6 gigahertz, absolutely brilliant, pop that stuff in. Okay, you might want to have this bit in bold, you can have the different colours around the outside, the different colours of writing. I absolutely don't mind. Okay, again when you're going across to find something else, so for example I might say RAM chips, oops, that one there, go and find myself some RAM chips. Here we go, it's a lovely set of RAM chips here. Check the picture's okay, which it is. Copy. Now they're actually 2 gigabytes, which isn't very big. We probably want something a bit bigger than that, but you can always just tell a wee fib and say that they're a bit more than they are, or you can take ones that are generic and don't have any stickers on them. Let's see what this one says. It doesn't say, so we'll go with this one instead. Oops. So we'll copy the picture across and then paste it. Control V to paste. Now if you don't want the white in the background, remember that you can remove the white from pictures. So if I go to picture format and remove the backgrounds, the purple is everything that gets deleted, so I can use this kind of green tool here to highlight anything I want to keep. So I want to keep all of this. Hopefully it'll get most of it. So we click here or there, and I want these gold bits along the bottom, please. Now I'm actually going to be really cheeky. Rather than doing the other one, I'm just going to do one, and then I'm going to crop that so it's a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to copy and paste it so I've got two. That saves me a wee job. And again, you can just put them to the size you want them to be, and you can pop them inside. It means I can overlap them, save myself a little bit of space inside my computer box as well. Pop them inside there. And then once you've got your next little bit, you can go into Insert, go into Shapes, Text Box, and pop them in. So RAM, which is your memory, allows me to have multiple windows open on the screen at one time. Or you could say stores all the information the computer is currently working on, or whatever. Okay, and you could do a little bit of research. If you're not entirely sure what these things do, that's absolutely fine. Feel free to put the pictures in anyway, and just have the labels around the outside of what things you've put in, and potentially any prices or maybe links to web pages you find them. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so you're going to fill that up with all the different bits you want. Again, if you're putting a motherboard in, you probably want to put that in first. I don't think you need to write too much about the motherboard, because it's just basically replacing wires so that all the things can connect together. So if you find a motherboard, a nice colour of one or whatever that you like, you can just pick one like this. You can copy it across and you can paste it. And again, if I remove the background, I want to keep all the stuff on here. All of this, zoop. All of this, all these wee bits. Yep. And not have to be perfect, but you get the idea. Crop that, so I don't want that wee extra bit at the side. Get rid of that. And then what I can do is I can send this to the back, and then send this to the back. And it should appear inside here. It just makes it a bit more difficult to see some of your information, so it's entirely up to you if you want to have one or not. But it's quite nice to pretend you're putting some of these chips actually into some of these sections. So for example, we might want the RAM down here instead, and that's going to go inside there. Okay, these bits here are actually where the RAM goes, these long bits. So you can mess about with these and pretend you're actually building up your computer system if you like. As long as you've got your information around the outside about things that you feel that you want, that's really important. Okay, so do as many bits inside the computer that you can think of that you feel might be important. If you want to be able to play DVDs, you want a wee DVD drive in there. You definitely want a hard disk drive. If you want to do any sort of gaming or use any sort of graphics or watch any sort of videos, you're going to want a graphics card for sure. You can pop that in down here somewhere as well. Okay, then once you've done that, what I want you to do is think about what you're going to have external to your box. So imagine that this is your desk at home. This is your box that you've already filled with all the information that you need inside to make it work. And it's what sort of extra things do you want? So then I'm thinking about going across and talking about, you know, a widescreen monitor. Find myself a monitor that I like the look of. Again, if you wanted to you know, go on to specific web pages, you could find a monitor. That looks like quite a nice one. Find yourself a monitor. This one's quite nice. Take that one. Okay, you find the image that you're looking for. You're going to pop it down in here. Picture format. Remove the background. I'm going to get rid of all that white so that it looks like it's really sitting on the desk. Select all this so nothing's in purple. Make sure I've got the black around the outside. This can take a little bit of time, so just take your time when you're doing it and try and get it as neat as you can. Sometimes it'll select large bits and sometimes it just does that and does a wee line, so there you go. And I think that's got most of it. Again, if you press tick and then you notice anything's missing, you can go back and change it again, okay? And then when you've got it in, go like that. Now I feel like actually I might flip this over. I feel like it might look better that way on my desk, sitting against it. Yeah, I'm going to go for that. Okay. Now with this one, it would be really good to have the information about why you want to pick the different bits, but I get that because you don't have this white bit around the outside, it's a bit more difficult to put your text boxes. So there's a couple of ways you could do it. You could either just insert a new slide, and on your next slide, you could just have text boxes of all your bits of information, okay? Or what you could do is you could have a shape, but maybe just make it a coloured shape, so it's a bit easier to read the information. And if you right click on that and you edit text, you can type into there. So you could say monitor allows me to see what I am doing on the computer. If you run out of space for computer, you could put PC. Okay, and what's really cool is you could kind of have these all in different colours around the outside. You can change the size of them, make them whatever size you need. You could also trigger them so they're animated. So for example, what you could do is you could put an animation on this so that it appears when you click on this monitor. Okay, so at the moment it will just appear when you click in the background. So if I show you that, I could click anywhere and it'll come up with that bit of information. What you can do is you can go to this thing called a trigger. So if you think like a gun, you pull the trigger, it makes the gun go. The trigger for the animation will say that when you click, and then we've got some rectangles in a picture and a rectangle with rounded corners, which is the last thing I put in, which is this. So I think picture 8 is likely to be this. So if I click picture 8, you'll see that's changed from a 1 to a wee tiny lightning bolt, but you can try it out. So if I go to here and hover over, see how I hover over the monitor and it's changing to a clicky hand, and I click that, it comes up. So that's quite cool. So you could actually have all the information around the outside hidden, and then you could click on it. And obviously you could put a mouse in here, you could put a keyboard in here, you could put some cool speakers, you could have a webcam sitting on top, you could have a joystick that's put to the side for when you're gaming, anything you want. Even if you want to put things like mouse mats and stuff in, go absolutely crazy and build up your desktop system to how you want it to be, okay? Obviously you can move these things about as well, so if you need a bit more space, then feel free to move any of these about, get yourself more space on the desktop to actually put bits of information in. Or if you're really struggling, you could change the picture of that background to put the information in, or just put it on a blank slide. Okay, so either information about your devices, input, output devices here or here. And again, if you want to have something like a wee USB stick just lying to the side to say I'd use that for taking my homework to and forward from school, or you could even have it sticking in front of the box, which would be really cool, then every detail matters, okay? You're going to have the whole period today to work on this, and again you might have times at various points throughout the next few weeks to work on it as well. So take your time, make it look good, make it exactly what you want, no money spared, and do exactly what you would have if you could have your ideal computer system. Hopefully that all makes sense. Drop me a message if you've got any questions, and enjoy. Speak to you later, guys. Bye.